A different market of drugs is making its way into the scene. Amateur chemists are mixing and remixing existing substances, producing dozens of new psychedelics. The upheaval in drug culture is quickly becoming an essential part of the futurist spirit of the movement, while towing the line between legal and illegal. Our guest spoke to several of these amateur chemists for her cover story, Travels in the New Psychedelic Bazaar, in the current issue of New York Magazine. And she's joining us right now to tell us more about it. Vanessa Grigoriadis, contributing editor at New York Magazine, Rolling Stone, and Vanity Fair. How much has changed since the late 60s to what we're looking at today?
Oh, an enormous amount has changed. There used to be just mushrooms and LSD and maybe mescaline and some drugs that were known to, indigenous people in South America. And now there's literally an infinite combination of psychedelic compounds that can be marketed and bought basically over the internet.
And you spent time with these chemists. What was that like?
It was a little odd.
Did you learn how to do it, Vanessa?
Right. Yeah, I'm just mixing it up over here in the kitchen. Yeah. But they're interesting guys. I mean, they're hobbyists essentially. They're people who took organic chemistry, probably majored in it in college, maybe did a little graduate school work, and they know what they're doing. It's become very easy to mix these things up.
We talk about the negative effects and the fears and concerns of these drugs, but people also talk about the positives and how it actually opens up this world of creativity. Steve Jobs famously said that. There's actually a quote I want to pull up. He says, "Taking LSD was a profound experience, one of the most important things in my life. LSD shows you that there's another side to the coin. You can't remember it when it wears off, but you know it. It reinforced my sense of what was important, creating great things instead of making money, putting things back into the stream of history and of human consciousness as much as I could." I mean, Vanessa, a lot of people say, we wouldn't have, what we have with Apple today without Steve Jobs maybe taking some of these drugs. There is an argument to be made that there's a positive part of this conversation, right?
Sure. I mean, there are a lot of very smart people, in the academic world who are working on studies right now about, magic mushrooms being administered to terminal cancer patients, and if that can help ease their suffering. There's a really interesting study going on about using mushrooms, in small doses to help people who are recalcitrant smokers finally stop smoking. There's a great study of MDMA or ecstasy, Molly is what the kids call it, for PTSD for soldiers, and the Army has been very supportive of that. So, in a therapeutic setting, or at least in, somewhat of a serious setting, I think there's a huge argument to be made that these drugs are really helpful.